welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review. This review is for Love and Hip Hop Miami Season 5, Episode 5. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. So much went down in this episode, so let's just get right into this review. So at the very beginning of this episode, Shay is talking to her mother about her relationship with her daughter's father because she says that she really loves him and he's been telling her for a really long time that he was going to marry her, but he has yet to do it, and that's really pissing her off because she doesn't understand why he keeps leading her on. Now, I do feel like she needs to take a little bit of accountability when it comes to this situation because she decided to stay in this relationship with him all these years knowing that she wanted marriage, and she told him numerous amounts of times that she wanted to be married, and he really hasn't been taking it seriously. So if he's been lying to you all this time, telling you he was going to marry you but still hasn't done it, why are you staying in the relationship with him if marriage is something that's really important to you? I feel like you need to be with somebody who kind of wants the same things as you. If she wants to be married, she should be with somebody who thinks that marriage is important too. And she's with a guy who doesn't seem to care about marriage at all. She was telling her mother that if he doesn't marry her within 365 days, she's ending the relationship because she's tired of him leading her on. But honestly, I feel like she should have left him a long time ago if he's been leading her on for this long. I don't really know what his problem is, though, because if he feels like she's good enough to have a child with, I don't understand why he feels like she's not good enough to marry. Because at the end of the day, I feel like having a child with somebody is more of a commitment than, marrying somebody, because you can easily get a divorce and never deal with the person ever again. But when you have a child with somebody, you have to co-parent with them for a really long time, and you may run into each other at an event that the child has. So I just feel like it's more of a commitment to have a child with somebody than it is to marry them. But at the end of the day, I feel like Shay definitely needs to take accountability for that because she shouldn't have stayed with him if she knew that he was playing games. Now, Shay's mom seems to not really like her boyfriend that much. She said that there's a lot of red flags with him. And she also was telling Shay that she shouldn't have to put a 365-day time frame for them to get married, because at the end of the day, if she has to force him to marry her, she shouldn't want to marry him to begin with. And I honestly really do agree with her mother, and I think she worded that perfectly, because if Shay's boyfriend really does end up proposing to her, it's not going to be because he really wanted to. It's going to be because Shay told him to, and I just don't understand why you would want to have a marriage that starts off that way. Trick Daddy ends up meeting up with Ray J to tell him what happened when he went to Trina and Flo's event in the previous episode. When he arrived at the event, Bobby came up to him trying to stir up some trouble between him and Marlon, telling him that Marlon gave Joy some flowers. And although Trick did not react at the event, he tells Ray J that he was really upset about it, not because he doesn't want Joy to move on with her life, but because Marlon is supposed to be his friend, and technically him and Joy are still married, so he doesn't understand why Marlon would be trying to get with his wife. Now, the reason why I'm saying that Ray J wasn't the right person for Trick Daddy to go to when it came to this situation is because Ray J gets way too invested in it, because it hits home for him, because he said that when him and, Princess Love filed for divorce the first time, a bunch of guys were in her DMs, and one of the guys she was actually dealing with. And so that's the reason why Ray J is getting so invested in this situation. And instead of giving, Trick Daddy some good advice, he ends up telling him that they should go pull up on Marlon to confront him about giving Joy some flowers. Now, when Ray J ends up telling Princess about this whole situation between Marlon, Joy, and Trick Daddy, she tells him that he needs to stop instigating the situation, trying to get Trick to go pull up on people because they're too old to be doing stuff like that, and tells him that the only reason why he's instigating this situation is because it hits home for him. And that's absolutely true, because he kind of confirmed that during this conversation with her. I don't understand why he told Trick Daddy to go pull up on somebody. Trick Daddy is sick and Trick Daddy is old. He don't have time or the energy to go fight anybody, but they end up pulling up on Marlon nonetheless. And when they pull up on Marlon, the conversation actually goes really well, and I was surprised about that. But Marlon was kind of downplaying his relationship with Joy. He was basically trying to make it seem like he was just giving Joy flowers because he appreciated her being there for him, and basically tried to say that he gave Joy flowers because he knew that Flo was going to be at the event, and he was kind of trying to make her jealous. But then when he did his confessional, he was saying that he actually is interested in being with Joy, but because she's still married to Trick Daddy and him and Trick Daddy are supposed to be cool, he's not going to try to pursue her. Now, I don't think that he's going to stop trying to deal with Joy. I just think that that's what he told Trick so that the situation could be deaded. Amara says that ever since she got into a relationship with Safari, she hasn't been getting as much money coming in as she was used to getting. So she is trying to get as much money as she possibly can to support her and her two twin daughters. And she ends up calling her publicist and telling her to book her for any events that she can get because she really needs the money at this point. But her publicist was very clear to her that they have a lot of, deals on hold because a lot of brands don't want to deal with Amara because of her association with Safari. Anytime that they search up Amara's name, Safari ends up coming up, and they don't like Safari's reputation, so therefore they don't really want to work with Amara because it's not good for their brand. And Amara was trying to make excuses, saying that, Safari says that he's changed and that she should be able to be in a relationship with whoever she wants to be in a relationship with, and that shouldn't affect the money that she has coming in. But at the end of the day, a lot of brands don't want to be associated with certain people, especially depending on what the brand is for. If it's a brand specifically marketed to women or to mothers, they're definitely not going to want to work with Amara if she's linked to Safari, because Safari has a really bad reputation when it comes to women. And then, Erica Mena has been putting out there that he doesn't really take care of his children and is late on paying his child support. So who would really want their brand to be associated with Safari? So she is really upset about this whole situation and says that she's going to have a conversation with Safari when she sees him. So while Amara was getting ready for Shay's daughter's birthday party, she ended up seeing an interview with Safari. The interviewer ended up asking Safari if there was a woman that he's been in a relationship with that he felt got away, and he basically implied that it was Nicki Minaj, and this seemed to really piss off Amara, not because he said it, but because he put it out there in public on social media for everybody to see. And obviously that's embarrassing to her because everybody has already been telling her how Safari is, and he told her that he changed and she believed him. So now she feels like now she looks stupid because he put that out there on social media. So when he ends up showing up to have a conversation with her because they were going to go to Amara's daughter's party together, she ends up confronting him about it. Now, he tells her not to take the interview seriously and that for his brand, he just says things on social media to get attention and to create a buzz, basically telling people what he thinks they want to hear, which I don't understand why he would tell people publicly that he's fake, but okay. I know a lot of celebrities say and do things to get a buzz going and get their name out there, but you shouldn't say that on national television. That's stupid in my opinion. But I do feel like there was some truth to what he said. I do feel like he thinks that Nicki Minaj is the one that got away. I mean, why wouldn't he think that? I just feel like he's trying to tell Amara that he didn't really mean it because he doesn't want her to be upset with him. Amara gets so pissed off that he's being so dismissive of her feelings that she tells him that her publicist said that a lot of brands don't want to work with her because of her connection to him, that when people Google her name, his name comes up and he has a really bad reputation. So she was telling him that he needs to change. Now, I don't like that she was telling him that he needs to change. I mean, I honestly do feel like he should change a little bit. But at the end of the day, that's his choice to do it. And Amara knew exactly who Safari was when she decided to get into a relationship with him and go public with him. So I don't understand why now she's trying to tell him to change. She just shouldn't be in a relationship with him, period, point blank, because he's going around telling everybody that they're not in a relationship anyway. And apparently was still sleeping around with Erica when he was with Amara. So I don't understand why she's even trying to keep this relationship going. But Safari gets so pissed off at her trying to tell him to change. He tells her that he's not going to change. He's going to do it for as long as he can, and tells her that she can go to Shay's party by herself. So obviously there's already trouble in paradise between the two of them as soon as they decided to go public with each other. Now Amara claims that they're not really in a relationship, that they just did it for the show, but I do feel like they were really messing around. I feel like she's just embarrassed at the fact that she gave him the time of day and he was making her look just as stupid as he made everybody else who was in a relationship with him look. So apparently Sukihana and Momma Dee have major beef this season because Sukihana said that she saw an interview that Momma Dee did about her, saying a lot of negative things about her. She said that Momma Dee talked about her body, she talked about the way that she portrays herself, and she mentioned her skin color, which really seemed to upset Sukihana. She said that usually she's really confident in herself, but after hearing Momma Dee's interview where she body shamed her, she said that she started to wonder if she really was fat, which is not right. I don't think that Momma Dee should be making comments about Sukihana's weight, especially because Sukihana is so much younger than her. I don't know why she decided to attack the girl. I mean, if If you don't like the way that she portrays herself, that's fine. You can comment on that because Sukihana puts that out there in the open, so anybody can comment on that. But I don't feel like she had to shame the girl about her body and stuff. That just didn't make any sense to me. I don't understand why Momma Dee is always attacking younger women. And honestly, I'm surprised that Momma Dee is attacking Sukihana because Sukihana is not linked to Scrappy, and usually Momma Dee attacks all the women that's linked to Scrappy. So I was actually surprised by this beef. So it's the day of Shay's daughter's birthday party, and it's a complete disaster, not only because her daughter's father showed up extremely late, but because she also invited both Momma Dee and Sukihana to the party, knowing that the two of them don't like each other, and they ended up showing up around the same time and having a really awkward encounter. And Shay made an even bigger mistake when she ended up trying to get them two together to have a conversation, because when they do have the conversation, it starts off kind of cool, calm, and collected, and then it turns into utter chaos, because when Sukihana goes up to Momma Dee, she tells her that she's really upset at the fact that she did an interview talking negatively about her, and Momma Dee at first was trying to be apologetic and telling Sukihana that she doesn't have a problem with her and that the interviewer actually brought up Sukihana. She didn't bring her up herself, and says that she doesn't have a problem with her, but she does have a problem with the way that she portrays herself all over social media. And obviously that seemed to piss Sukihana off because she feels like nobody can check her. And then on top of that, she feels like Momma Dee is the wrong person to do it, which I do agree. I agree that Momma Dee is not the right person to be checking Sukihana about the way that she acts, because at the end of the day, Momma Dee is no better, and she has a very colorful past as well, so I don't understand why she's coming at Sukihana that way, because she's just as bad, if not worse. So the two of them are getting into a heated back and forth with each other. They're yelling at each other. Momma Dee ends up slapping some condoms on the table and telling Sukihana that she needs to use them. And the two of them are screaming at each other at this 1-year-old's birthday party. It was a hot, hot mess. After the fight between Momma Dee and Sukihana, Shay's daughter's father actually ends up showing up, but he was about 3 hours late. That's what they ended up saying. And he ended up telling her that the reason why he's late is because he was getting her a gift. And he pulls her outside and shows her the new car that he just got her. Basically, it was a push present, and she was really excited about that, gave him a big hug and a kiss, and told him that he gets a pass for being late because he got her this gift. But I don't think that she should have given him a pass for being late just because he got her a car, because at the end of the day, the car is probably just a way to get her to stop talking about getting married, and she feeds into it every single time. So at the very end of this episode, things end up taking a turn for the worse when Shay's brother and her boyfriend end up getting into a really heated argument and almost end up fighting, because Shay's mother has been taking care of her dog for the last year, because Shay and her boyfriend decided that when the baby was born, they were going to spend the first year of her life focusing solely on her, and the dog is like a second baby, so they let the dog go stay with Shay's mom. But now that the baby has turned 1 year old, Shay's mom is ready to give the dog back. And when she tells Shay's boyfriend that she's bringing the dog back, he gets really pissed off and talks to her really nasty. Like, he talks to her with a really bad attitude, and he was really stern with her, telling her that she can't bring the dog back to the house because he doesn't want it there, because he's the reason why the dog wasn't there to begin with. Shay didn't have a problem with the dog being there. She loves the dog, but he had an issue with it, and that's the reason why the dog has been staying with her mother. Now that it's time for her to bring the dog back, he's saying that she better not bring the dog back. Now, when MJ hears the way that Shay's boyfriend is talking to his mother, he gets really pissed off and he goes over there to check him. And the two of them get into a really heated back and forth. Honestly, they almost fight and ruin this little baby's birthday party. I don't understand why they chose to get into it at the birthday party. It just wasn't the time or the place to have that conversation. But Shay's boyfriend is extremely problematic, and I feel like she lets him get away with too much. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.